for an hour, but to give them a call to list a home, 720-276-2553, 720-276-2553, or RE Key Concepts, RE for real estate, REKeyconcepts.com, REKeyconcepts.com. But give us a call now at 303-MARTINO, whether you want to talk on the air or speak with our experts at the Help Center, 303-627-8466. And if you have any questions, we can take them on the air too. Paula.
Okay, Tom, just ahead on Martino.
I'm Tom Martino. Don is on the phone about short sales, and I have Jim Bowman with me from Key Concepts, the specialist in short sales. Go ahead. What's going on, Don?
Yes, I'm trying to sell my house in a short sale, and I've been approved by my lender, which is Provident Funding.
Did they say you're approved for a short sale?
Correct.
Did they say how much you're approved for? Did they give you a price?
They're looking at $180,000.
They're looking at $180, and what do you owe?
$177, I believe.
You owe $177. Well, that's not a short sale. They approved you for a sale. They don't have to approve you. You owe $177, but you say by the time you pay commissions probably and all that, you'll be a little short, right?
Right, and most people that are wanting to buy want you to pay closing as well. So
okay, so you'll be short maybe $15,000, $20,000. So what is your question?
Well, I only have about a week to.
I didn't hear the
question. They're going to put it for auction on the 10th.
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry. I didn't hear the question.
That's no problem. I have only a week, and then they're putting it up for auction.
They're putting it up for an auction in a week. Is it too late to try to submit a short sale contract?
Depends on who the bank is many times, but in most cases there are a lot of banks that will accept an offer within a week of the short sale, especially if they've already submitted a package. So if they've already been working with the lender and have a short sale package in with that lender, they have an opportunity to submit an offer at this point and still get the sale postponed.
All right, you may want to call Key Concepts to find out more. We have more coming up. All right, we're back, and we're going to talk to Paula now. Paula, what's happening in the call center? We're talking about short sales.
Okay, Tom, we're in the call center with Kelly Padilla with Key Concepts. So we're talking about short sales. What kind of questions are you getting from people this morning?
We're getting questions like, I'm late on my mortgage, what should I do? My house is going into foreclosure in 2 weeks, 1 month. Is there anything you can do to help us?
Those are pretty typical calls that you're going to get when people are in that kind of crisis mode, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I would imagine you kind of have to help them settle down a little bit and really try to focus on what you can do. But there is a lot of hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because if you've got 2 weeks to go or just 1 month, how quickly can you move for them?
It depends on the bank. There are certain banks where we absolutely cannot help a seller if they're 1 week out of foreclosure. There are some banks that are more agreeable, such as Wells Fargo. They're actually willing to help a homeowner that is that close to foreclosure.
They're in that tight of a pinch,
yes.
And it can still be worked out.
Yes.
So what happens if they are so tight? I mean, what do you do?
Well, we do everything we can. Darlene's on the phone. She's been successful at getting people out of foreclosure 5 days before foreclosure, and she's just absolutely amazing.
Okay.
So.
Kelly Padilla with Key Concepts, thank you so much. Tom, the phones are very busy this morning. You can see we've got 6 people in here. They're all on the line with Key Concepts. Just keep giving them a call, 303-MARTINO. Hopefully they can answer your questions that you might have if you're in trouble with your home. Back to you, Tom.
All right. Hey, are you having trouble making your mortgage payment? You may be underwater in your house. You know that expression? It means you owe more than it's worth. Short sales do take place, but very few people know how to get them done. So many people say, Tom, I want to get out of my house. I don't want a foreclosure. Can I do a short sale? But they try to call the bank and say, hey, I have somebody who wants to pay less for the house. They don't even talk to them. But Jim Bowman of Key Concepts is here as part of the show today, and they're going to be taking calls at 303-MARTINO. And Jim, I think what's important is the concept of a short sale. First of all, explain what a short sale is and how Key Concepts helps.
Well, effectively, a short sale is fairly simple in theory in terms of it's just a buyer or a homeowner is trying to sell their home for less than what it's worth. So you have to involve the bank in that process as well.
Okay, good.
And in doing so, the bank actually has to approve the short sale. So when you're working with the bank, you're getting them to accept a price that's less than what the house.
What do you call and say, look, we're not going to pay you what you want, or you're going to take less money? Or do you explain to them that it's actually better than a foreclosure?
Well, when you're working with homeowners, you need to educate them on the entire process. It's very important that for homeowners to understand everything that's involved. So there's a lot of education involved in terms of short sales and working with homeowners, making sure that they understand what to expect from banks, and different banks have different policies, so you have to educate them on those types of things.
And you work with a lot of different banks.
Oh, certainly. We work with all the large banks. We've closed, office collectively about 400 short sales.
So you know how to deal with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're looking for people right now that have homes that are probably not worth what they paid for them and probably not even what they owe.
Yeah, and any houses that have been purchased in the last 3 or 4 years, almost all those houses are upside down today.
Really?
Just because of the depreciation in the market, houses just aren't worth what they were a few years ago.
So you're looking for these owners to call you for right now, 303 Martino. And if you're looking to buy one and have questions, you can call as well. They can help educate you. But you will do what with, I call you right now or I call you tomorrow or the next day. I call Key Concepts. What will you do for me if I say, Jim, I have a house and here's one of your signs. I have a house and it's worth less than I owe. What will you do for me?
Well, first of all, we'll need to understand the situation.
Right.
Who your lenders are, what your situation, how far behind you are. Because a lot of people don't realize you can stay in your house all the way till it goes to auction.
Right.
And in Colorado, from the time you first default on your mortgage till the time it goes to sale is about 8 to 10 months.
Okay.
So depending where you're at in that whole cycle makes a big difference in terms of the strategy going
so now
forward.
I'm late a few months. The house isn't worth much. Do you immediately get an agreement with me to sell my house, and then you go right to my lender, or do you wait till you have an offer?
You must have an offer before to submit to do a short sale.
So you don't just call them and say, hey, can we do this?
That's correct. When you start the short sale process, there is a number of documents that have to be prepared by the homeowner, hardship letters, some financial documents.
And you help them through all of that?
Absolutely. You have to walk them through all of that.
So you walk them through the entire process, then you put your sign up and you start showing people the houses?
That's correct.
Now, do you tell the people, do you still try to get as much money as possible for that house?
Yeah, obviously. The banks will also do, once you start a short sale, the banks will actually do an appraisal or what they call BPO on the house, a broker's price opinion. So they do a valuation on the house to determine its value. Typically, the bank will want around 90% net of whatever that value is. So you have to try to get as much for the bank as you can. And short sales are really, banks are institutions that came up with short sales. So it's a way for them to make as much money on a sale of that property as well.
And it often helps the bank because it is better than a foreclosure for the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. It ends up being a win-win really for the bank and the homeowner in many cases, because the bank will make more money on a short sale versus a foreclosure, and the homeowner can avoid foreclosure on their credit record. So really, it's a bad situation, but it ends up being a win-win for both bank and
Now,
homeowner.
I understand if people are watching right now and they say, okay, I want to buy a short sale. I want to sell my house. That's easy. They're going to call you. I want to sell my house. I owe too much. But what about the people that want to buy? Yeah, I want to buy. So can they call you? Can they say, hey, if you have a number of houses, if you specialize in short sales, can you show me some?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of short sales in our inventory right now. We're negotiating somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 short sales. We can show buyers. The thing that buyers need to understand on short sales, just like educating the homeowner that's selling the property, you have to educate the buyers too in terms of what to expect in terms of length of time. Again,
what can you expect as far as length of time?
Well, it depends on which lenders you're working with. There are a few lenders that really the process is pretty efficient. They move through them fairly quickly. Litton Loan Services, Wells Fargo is fairly efficient. There's companies such as Bank of America right now. They have such a huge volume.
What would that take with Bank of America? I hear it takes up to 8 months sometimes.
Yeah, they can. I'd say average on Bank of America right now could be between 4 and 5 months. So
4 and 5 months.
Yeah, so the buyers have to be prepared what they're getting into as well. So it's, the whole process is about educating not only the homeowner but the buyers in the process as well to make sure you can have a successful short sale.
So you have a team of brokers and agents.
Yeah, we do, and we also have an office staff that's just dedicated to working with the bank. So we have processors that collect all the documentation from the homeowner.